Hello, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are listening from. My name is Althea Walters, the host for the Focused and Fulfilled podcast. I am also a productivity and business coach and a corporate trainer at Blazing Beyond. Now, today I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Annette Morris, and she is known as the Getter, and I am so excited to speak to Annette. Annette, welcome.
Hey, everybody, how are you?
All right, wonderful. So Annette, you are known as the goal getter, and today we're going to be talking about dreaming big and living bigger, right? Living bigger and bolder.
Yes.
And that is such an interesting topic for me because I believe so much in goals and going after your goals and going after your dreams. And I don't want to preempt too much of what we're going to say without hearing more about who is Annette and how did we get to the goal getter?
So the really funny thing was Goal Getter started out being a t-shirt, right? A t-shirt line, because I'm a very goal-oriented person, right? So I do vision boards every year. That kind of gives me like the blueprint for my life for the upcoming year, right? Yes. So I do vision boards every year, but also I'm just goal-oriented, right? So I set goals for everything. It could be something as minor as a skirt that I saw online that I say I wanted. I set a goal for when I'm gonna purchase the skirt to purchasing a home. Like it can be anything, right? I set goals.
Everything can be a goal.
Everything is a goal to me. And I can remember like one of my childhood friends called me about a year ago, and she was like, you know, you've always been this person. And I said, what do you mean? She said, I can remember when we were like 14 and we got our first summer job, and you had your mindset on these particular pair of sandals, and you were so disciplined. Like we would all go out to lunch and spend our money, and you would bring your lunch every day because you was like, I want to get these sandals. So you saved your 2 checks, put them together, and got the sandals. I said, oh my God, how do you remember that? We were like 14 years old, but she was like, because you've always been disciplined like that, and I wish I had that level of discipline. So everything has always been like goals for me, right? And so I started doing this t-shirt line back in probably like 2014, 2015. And it just said like hashtag goal getter, right? And one of my other friends, who's also a marketing expert, she was like, you know, that's not just a t-shirt. That's really who you are, right? You are a goal getter. Mm-hmm. And she was like, you may want to consider changing your business name to that. She was like, because technically that's not just a t-shirt. That's really who you are. Mm-hmm. And so I pondered on it and prayed about it for a while. And I was like, you absolutely right. That's exactly who I am and who I've always been. And so I changed my business name to Goal Getter LLC. So it's just who I am.
Wow. I love that and then you notice how along the journey your friend was just channeling you in the direction because absolutely. You know, once we are walking in line with our purpose, we're going to get that support that is going to lead us in that direction, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Yes, so I totally love the story. And it's amazing how she touched on the point that this is who you have always been.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
This is who you have always been. And this is what happens for us when we're being true to our purpose, is that it doesn't change. It really, that's how we have been. That those are the things that we look forward to in life. Those are the things that we have been doing. You have been doing vision boarding for how long?
Yeah, vision boards. Yeah. For a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a part of, setting and establishing goals and then working towards them. So I am glad about that. And then for me, I'm not sure if I always was that person, growing up, doing the goals, etc. But I know that in adulthood, I would have been so focused on saying, this is my goal, this is what I'm working towards, etc. And it's manifesting in how you're saying every little thing that you do is a goal, and you are taking it so seriously, right? No matter how big or small it was.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit more about the vision boarding aspect of it that brings you to the goal setting and the goal being the goal getter. Many persons struggle with just doing a vision board and leaving it, by itself. Talk a little bit about that for me.
That's really funny. You said that yesterday. I had the opportunity to speak to some high school students. So the foundation hired me to speak to them about goals and goal setting, right? Beyond goal setting is what they titled my topic as, right? And
Yes.
I thought that was marvelous because I tell them like goal getting is different from goal setting. Goal getting is beyond the actual goal setting, right? So, and I've been on vision board parties for years and everything, and have people that have come and make beautiful vision boards, cut the nice little pictures out the magazines, have the words, all these things. And then I see them months later and I'm like, what did you accomplish from that vision board? And half of them, like somebody was like, oh, I put the vision board in my closet and forgot all about it and XYZ. And my thing is, visions don't come to fruition by osmosis. You literally have to implement an action plan to make that vision come into fruition. So that's why I say dream big, live bigger, because you can dream big in color and have the beautiful pictures on a vision board and XYZ, but you can live so much bigger if you put action and implementation into those particular plans. I'll use, for example, and like I say, like I have a goal for everything. So if that was a pretty skirt, I just went through pictures in my phone the other day. I was like, Lord, I still have this picture in my phone. And I actually purchased the skirt, right? So if it's something like a skirt, the skirt was $100. That's way more attainable than me wanting an investment property, right? But I still have to take the action steps to do it. So technically I may be like, okay, well, if I accomplish this particular goal, then I'm gonna reward myself with the skirt, right? So the action would be do this, then purchase the skirt. That's something easy to do, right? Whereas when I want to get an investment property, it may require for me to make a tweak to my credit, have the deposit saved, determine where I want the investment property, determine what I want to do. So it's more steps, right? So what I do is break it down into bite-sized pieces. If it's something that's harder to accomplish with way more steps to it, then I break it down to bite-sized pieces, right? So this month I may say, for the whole month of November, I'm going to focus on, working on my credit, making sure I build my credit up. For the month of December, my focus is going to be on having a stream of revenue in my business that helps me to generate revenue that I'm going to put in a specific savings account to save towards the down payment. So then I would have to go to the bank, open that savings account, and then channel all of that money from that stream of revenue into that account, right? So just breaking the bigger goals into bite-sized pieces, where the smaller goals are easier to attain because there's fewer steps to it. But all of them require some type of action plan and action steps in order to bring them from vision into fruition.
Okay. Amazing. I love how you break it down. I love how you said it, because so many people get too stuck at the vision board stage. And they by the way, they're very excited about doing the vision.
Yes.
It is left and nothing. So beyond goal setting in itself is a great way. And then how you lined out how you break it down into manageable steps, because many of us, as much as we have the great intention to do things, sometimes our intention results in inaction because we don't know how.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely.
We don't know how. And so actionable steps, implementing and executing is one of the areas that I know people struggle with. Why do you believe it's so difficult for persons to move from the vision to getting the goal done? We know we said they need the steps, but is there anything else that you can see that is challenging for people? Why is it that they really can't get to action?
And I don't believe it's that they can't get to action. I believe that they don't sit down and figure it out, right? Some people are very fearful. So a lot of people have fear associated with, I don't think that this can manifest for me, right? So it's a lot of things like, I really would love this, but I don't think that this could happen for me. So that's one of the fear aspect, the, self-destructing thoughts, those type of things or whatever. So you have that. And then you have people that just feel like, they're not even thinking about what the action steps or what it is required for them to do it, right? And not realizing the simplicity of it. So I use, for example, one of my clients, she had a goal. She wanted this particular vehicle, right? And I was like, okay, you have the vehicle on your vision board, XYZ. Have you gone to the dealership to look at the vehicle? No. Have you done a test drive? No. Those are 2 free steps, right? That's not even anything that's complicated. That doesn't require you to have credit. They don't require you to have a down payment. Going to the dealership, touching the vehicle, doing a test drive to even make sure that that's what you really even want, right? Those are 2 simple and free steps to do. She was like, I never thought about that, right? So then you get to the dealership, you do the test drive, you determine, okay, you know what? I thought I liked it, but I really don't, or I really do want it. Now, how do I make it manifest? Then the steps are easy after that. Again, is your credit up to par, right? She does credit. So her credit is definitely up to par. How much of a down payment do you need? I really don't know. You never really tried to find out. Call her. It's as simple as making a phone call to say, like, you know, if the car is this much, about how much would it be to have, you know, how much would it require for me to have as a down payment? And then what would my notes be or whatever? It's as simple as making a phone calls. But these simple steps, like, she never sat down to think about the process that would get her from where she is today to actually having that car in her driveway or in her garage, right? A lot of times people don't sit down and just think through the action steps that's necessary. And a lot of times it's very simplistic. We just don't sit down and think it through. We just put the picture on a vision board and hopefully, you know, by faith, God is going to make it manifest, right? Boom, manifest. You know what I mean? Like, no, manifestation is not magic. You have to take action to bring those things into fruition.
Exactly. And because and that's it. A lot of us, we don't think it through, but then again, because we don't know where to start. Right,
exactly.
We don't know where to start, so it holds us back from the goals, and we're farther away from the end result as we could even imagine. I remember, you know, when, you know, thinking about home ownership, I used to drive through the neighborhoods that I wanted to live in, and I'm looking at the different nice houses and all of these things. That's part of that's action. You know, it may not take any much money, but it is action.
It is action.
Yes, and I think that some of us believe that the actions are supposed to be so big to get to the goal, but they're really, as you had outlined before, simple, manageable steps that you take one after the other to get to where you are. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So you are known as the goal getter. Did you have any struggles for yourself before you even got to start in your own company or to really live in your dreams of coaching and bringing forward to life, becoming bigger and living bolder?
Oh, I've had every struggle.
I can imagine.
Every struggle imaginable. So I am never going to lie to anybody and tell you this process is easy. It is absolutely not easy at all. Like, every goal that I've accomplished have come with like hills and valleys and all the other things before I got to accomplish them, right? So none of them are easy, right? But are they doable? Are the goals attainable? Absolutely, right? I've been divorced before. In the process of building my business, elevating in business, I've gotten divorced, right? When I went to purchase a car, like the steps again, I had it on the vision board, went to the dealership, test drove the car, touched the car, all of these other things, and determined which car I wanted. I was having a car built and a tsunami happened in Japan at the time or whatever. So that delayed the process of me getting my vehicle. It was just all kind of stuff, right? So going to the picture on the vision board to in my driveway, there was some turmoil in the middle of that, right? Me purchasing my home, there was some issues with that. So everything that I've had on the vision board that I wanted to accomplish, especially if it was something major, I've had some hiccups in between going from the vision board to actually manifesting. But anything worth having is worth fighting for, right?
Yes.
So we just keep fighting until we make it manifest. I don't think that anything that's worth having, you'll get it with ease, even as far as like losing weight, right? None of that comes with ease. Managing a business. I've been a full-time entrepreneur now for 11 years. I've had failures. I've had pitfalls. I've had mountaintop experiences. It's all been a part of the process, but failure is a part of the process, I feel, right? Running into adversity is a part of the process. It strengthens you in the process, and then you just keep going until you see the manifestation of whatever it is that you're working towards.
Awesome. You couldn't have said it better. Failure is a part of the process, because with failure, a lot of us don't want to fail, right? So we don't even try. We don't even take the first step. But with failure, that's how you're going to know what's your next move.
Because you learn what not to do. So that's the most valuable lesson. Let me not do this again. Yeah.
Exactly. So why not make the step? Why not fail and fail fast? Right?
Yes,
that's
what
I tell
forward.
people.
Yeah.
Fail fast, fail forward. Let's go. Let's move, because it's going. Something is going to happen. It's not, as you said, maybe not in these words, but it's not a smooth road, right?
Right.
In terms of, it's not a linear. You had your valleys, you had your mountains, you had all over.
Yes.
And so these are the things that when people are going after their goals, they need to understand that, look, it doesn't mean that I can't fail, right? Or it has to go this way all the time. We have to look out for the hiccups. We have to be prepared if there's failure, so that we can know what not to do to move to the next step. But I loved what you said about anything worth having is worth fighting for.
Absolutely.
A lot of us don't fight for our goals and our dreams.
Right. And then we don't live them.
Exactly. And then you leave not feeling fulfilled.
Correct.
Right? You leave feeling like, okay, and then sometimes, sometimes the blame is probably on other persons or on society or on the environment, etc. When you are the one at the center of your dreams, it's yours.
Yep. They're yours. Which you are
you.
responsible for them. They're yours and you're responsible for them. So
you are
can't
the only one
anybody.
responsible for your goals. And a lot of people have to believe that. And you talk about the self-destructing thoughts that you mentioned earlier. Those are some of the things that stop us from achieving our goals, those limitations, those self-sabotaging things that we say from time to time. But I want to bring you a little to, you mentioned discipline earlier in our conversation, where, having that discipline and maintaining it helps you with your goals, right? And I want, because that is one of the areas that we fall down on. Even if there are some people don't take the action, but there are some people that take the action but then can't maintain the action. Tell me how important is discipline and any other ingredient in maintaining the process to get to your goals?
Well, consistency is key, right? Consistency is key to anything, whether it's weight loss, whether it's elevating in a business, whether it's finishing school, purchasing a home. Consistency on that route and that routine is key to maintaining anything, right? Because one of the things you'll realize, so I'm gonna use, for example, like weight loss, right? So if you say, I want to lose 50 pounds this year, whatever it is, right? And most people start out strong in January, girl. The gym be packed in January. Exactly. I go to the gym 9 in the morning, it'd be like me and 5 other people in the gym. You know what I mean? But you go there in January, it's packed to the brim, right? So you can say, okay, well, I want to lose 50 pounds this year, X, Y, Z, or whatever. You start off in January, you start off strong, you meal prepping, you exercising 5 times a week, all these things or whatever, right? And then you lose 10 pounds, right? Okay, 10 pounds down, I got 40 more to go. But if you stop and start eating cakes and donuts in February, you lack consistency. So when you was consistently working out and eating right, you lost the 10 pounds. As soon as you fall off, you're going to gain them 10 pounds back and some, right? You're never going to reach your 50 pound weight loss goal, right? Whereas if you remain consistent with the same intensity that you did in January until December, I guarantee you're going to see that 50 pound weight loss, right? Because you've remained consistent. If you lose your consistency and just stop and go back to your same old habits, you're going to have the same old things that you've always had.
Exactly.
Whatever that may be.
Exactly. And that is what we also have to know when we're going back to the old habits, so that we can stop ourselves from going there, or get an accountability partner or somebody who can hold us accountable when we're going back to the old habits. So I loved it, because consistency is such an important ingredient. It doesn't matter which goal it is. It doesn't matter how small the goal is or how goal is. If it is that you're supposed to do something every day, do it every day. If you're supposed to do something every week, do it every week. And just maintain that level of consistency and focus to get you to your goals.
Absolutely.
So lovely. I love how you said it, and I love how you put it. If you had to share 2 lessons or 2 lessons from, or tips with our audience, what would that be as it regards to their goals? 2 tips that you'd love to share.
So the main tip is making sure whatever your goals are, make sure that they are attainable, right? And they all goals, I feel like, are attainable when you are consistent and taking the necessary action to do it, right? But once you set a goal for your life, sit down and map out the action steps. Like, what would it require for me to bring this from vision to fruition, right? What do I need to do? And then who else do I need to bring on board to make sure that this happens, right? So I'm gonna use, for example, if you are trying to purchase a house and you have bad credit, you probably need to partner with somebody that does credit repair, right? To help you get your credit to where it needs to be to fund your project or whatever. But then you're also going to need to partner with a real estate agent to help you find that property, right? So in addition to you doing your part, then you need to partner with other people and bring other people on board to make this manifest, right? So figuring out the action steps that you have to take, and then who do you have to partner with to bring this to fruition? Sit down and map that out. It does no good for you to put a picture on a vision board and just leave it there and not try to figure out, because everything that you need is within you. You can do this, right? You just have to sit down and figure out the steps. If you cannot figure out the steps on your own, there are mentors, there are coaches, there are people out there, right? We are not an island. You are not supposed to do everything on your own. For the stuff that you can figure out, figure it out. For the stuff that you cannot figure out, hire a coach and let them help you, right? Coaches for me, like I just said, I done went through all the pitfalls, all the other things or whatever, right? So that I can create a blueprint for my clients to help them to expedite their process in business, right? And to navigate this space without falling in the same pitfalls that I've fallen in, right? So that's what I do for my clients, help them to expedite their route to success in entrepreneurship, right? Because I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 11 years. I've made all the mistakes. They don't have to. They pay me so they can avoid the mistakes, right? And the pitfalls. So again, do your part, the part that you can do. What you cannot figure out, be open to hiring a coach to help you to expedite that process. So that's pretty much my two things. Do what you can do on your own. The second thing is hire a coach. Invest in yourself. Like, you're not paying that person. You're not investing in them. You are investing in you to help accelerate your process, right? So don't think in terms of, oh, I don't want to pay them. No, you're paying them to accelerate you. You ultimately are the recipient of whatever the good thing is that's going to come as a result of that coach-client relationship. So those are my two pieces of advice.
Excellently well said. What I'm going to add is just to remind some of the things that you said earlier in the conversation. The goals can't happen by osmosis. We have to implement, we have to execute, and we have to take action. Action mean that you're not going to fail. So we need to fail forward. We need to fail fast, because it's going to figure out the next move that we take. And we need to properly think through the steps, pause and think it through. After you have done your master plan, we need to think through the steps so that we can get to where we're going faster. And we need to figure out who we need to bring on board with us, who can help us to get to where we need to get to. And those were some lovely points, Annette, sharing with us about dreaming bigger and dreaming bigger. Remind me so I can say it properly.
Dream big, live bigger.
Dream big, live bigger. That's it. That's it. And, you know, going after our goals is so important, and we need to do it for us. Many times we believe that we're doing it for other people. You're really doing it for yourself. And that's what I want to remind my audience about. But Annette, tell us how we can find you.
You can find me on Facebook and on Instagram as Annette J. Morris, MA, or under my business page, Goal Getter LLC on Facebook, Goal_Getter_University on Instagram. My website is goalgetterforever.com or AnnetteJMorris.com.
Okay, wonderful. We can't miss you. We're going to find you, right?
Yes.
And I'll also keep all the information in my show notes. So thank you again, Annette. It was so wonderful having you on the Focused and Fulfilled podcast. We learned a lot from you, talking about goals and talking about dreaming big and living bigger. And it was my absolute pleasure to host you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
All right, great. Thank you, everyone. Again, my name is Althea Walters. I was your host for the Focused and Fulfilled podcast, and I can't wait to release this episode.